Hi guys, it's Luna and welcome back to another video. Now, let me try to say all of this so you can understand the thought process I've had throughout the day. So you can really understand how I'm feeling on this. Today I watched the Right Opinions video on Nikocado Avocado. I didn't like it. I was in a Discord server and gave my opinion on it, probably would show it up on screen. I was not here for it because I was watching it and I'm like, a lot of this could have been summarized in less time. Like this video should have been an hour tops. You're blowing a lot of stuff out of proportion. It's really just a whole framework felt like to me. He was just like, this is a villain. You're a villain. And a lot of his videos have been feeling like that. Him, Jay Aubrey, a few other people. Their videos have been feeling like whoever they're talking about, they're the bad guy. You can't say shit to them. But at the end of the video, oh, they're gonna be like, oh, well, you know, this is just my opinion. Like, let's cut all of the dramaticism at the way end and be like, no, it's just, you know, he's not as crazy as everybody else, but he's just a little off. And I'm like, you should have said at the beginning. At the beginning of this video, just in the first hour, he made him sound like such an asshole. And I'm like, what? He just seems like he's like every other clout chasing YouTuber. I think he's honestly better than a lot of them, like Trisha Paytas and J Station, you know? But he made him sound like such a villain. But then at the end, it was like, no, but it's not really that serious. I'm like, bro. But that's how I was feeling about that at that moment. And then I had to watch my nieces and nephews today, so I'm tired. And so I kind of gathered my thoughts, and I'm gonna be less, I'm heated, angry, yelling type shit. And so this is how I feel about it. Even though I don't like talking about people like Trisha Paytas and them anymore because of their clout chasing ways, I do see what they do. And Nick's problem isn't that serious. He's not that terrible of a person. Honestly, I just see a kid who went through Catholic schoolgirl syndrome and then lied and was super nice to people so he could have friends and people around him because he went out of something that was very extreme and life-changing. And then because that wasn't who he was, he didn't know how to control it. Now let me expand on that so you really understand what I mean when I say all of this. He has Catholic schoolgirl syndrome. What I mean by that is, if you don't understand veganism, it's a lifestyle. People really, especially people who aren't vegans, think that it's just, oh, well, you're just not eating meat and you love the animals. And that's not just like, oh, I'm gonna stop eating yogurt for a little while. That's straight up, that's a whole lifestyle change. That's like you going from being really fat and overweight and not working out and exercising to literally being fit, going to the gym all the time, juggling the gym and your regular life and being healthier and doing more and being more active, hiking up hills, changing around your entire schedule and life in like that. And for him, it was like that because he was like, I don't want to be vegan anymore. And I'm sure for that he lost a lot of friends, he lost a lot of people in certain groups because that conflicted with how they felt. And I'm sure there are people who stayed with him, but let's be honest, they probably wouldn't stay there for long because at that point you're almost living different lives. Not super different, like vegans aren't like some weird, it's not like a other religion, but sometimes it can be. And from what I saw of his old videos, and it really wasn't that hard to look any of them up, like it's not that hard. This man was like vegan, like he was into it to the point where it was like, it can be like a religion. And not even just because it's veganism, just any type of lifestyle change can be like a religion. And when you just leave that, when you leave something you knew for several years and something that you lived, breathed, and did all the time, it can give you that Catholic schoolgirl syndrome where you're just like, I need to do something different. I need to go from one extreme to another, basically. And that's what happened. That's as simply as what happened. His whole going out of vegan phase, it wasn't just like, oh, he just wanted to be fat and was trying to justify. It was just, he went from being vegan, super dedicated to it, to the whole other side of the spectrum and eating way too much and getting fat. And that's not abnormal. That's totally normal and a totally reasonable response to that type of drastic change in lifestyle. Most people do this. It's not a crazy thought. I don't know why people pretend like what he did was it really wasn't. It wasn't that serious. Not saying the Right Opinion said that. That's kind of to abide by God. But not saying he said that. I'm just saying that some people believe that this is just a weird thing of what he did. And plus, during the time of him leaving veganism and things like that, he was doing his cover of Warrior from Trisha Paytas. So it's obvious that that girl influenced him. Like, maybe it's just me, but what she did definitely influenced him in the sense of how she acted, how she made her money. She seems happy. She seems to be doing all of this. She's financing her own music videos. She makes money. Not Jeffree Star money, I don't think, but she makes money. Even I was just like, damn, I wish I was happy, making good money, doing what I liked, even though people are like, you can't sing, you can't dance, you can't do this, that, and third, and I could just do whatever I wanted to. That's inspirational, okay? You don't want it to be, but that's super inspirational. Don't take her as inspiration, but some people would, and some people will. And he did, I believe, because literally, if you do a cover of someone, that means you've been watching them for a long time. If you're gonna listen to her music, no shade, you listen to her music, you're definitely a fan. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities to where she was crying on her kitchen floor, then all of a sudden he started crying and being over dramatic and telling these over dramatic stories, which was what he was doing, right? No. But it makes sense. Maybe it's just me that just put these dots together. It makes perfect sense of why all this was happening. It literally was like one after the other, after the other, after the other, and I'm going back and seeing that 3 years ago he stopped being vegan, or I think 3 or 4 years ago he stopped being vegan. 3 years ago he also started his manic episodes, but also 3 years ago or somewhere around that he also did the cover for Warrior, and also that's when Trisha was doing all of her stuff. I went back and checked. The farthest video I could see of her on her kitchen floor is like at least 3-4 years ago, so it's like it just makes sense to me. Maybe it's really not that hard to figure this man out. Sorry if you hear a bunch of noise, the shower just went on. But speaking of his manic episodes and stuff like that, and all the dramas he's been in and the craziness, that's not even like making a video worthy, honestly. A lot of it was just misunderstandings, confusion, overreaction, and people who are way too sensitive getting into situations and being way too sensitive. Like, actually, like, it wasn't like with Trisha, with Stephanie, with all these other people. Sure, he did some shitty things, but I'm looking at the people in this situation, I'm like, y'all was doing the same shitty stuff he was doing. Sometimes, if not worse than what he was doing. It was ridiculous. You're all kind of shit people. I don't like any of you, nor do I ever want to watch you, ever. It's that everybody seemed to like to play the I'm a victim, he's mean to me, boo-hoo type shit. And in my personal opinion, a lot of them just needed to really talk instead of overreacting and having just these outbursts. Instead of just calming down, saying nothing, finally like taking a breath and then talking. You get what I'm saying? And I say that as a timid person myself in real life. Even I do that, where like I'll be very like oversensitive about a situation, and so I'll, especially about stuff that happened in my past, I'll scrunch up and then I'll just be like a little victim the entire time. And I'm being honest with you, I'll be a victim. I'll cry, I'll be a little timid bird, and I just won't, you know what I mean? Like, I'll just be overreacting. That's why I have to like cry it out or be upset, but I'm not gonna say nothing to you. I'm not gonna do all that until I calm down, until I'm not frightened anymore, until I'm not anxious. I'm gonna think about the situation, reflect, okay, maybe I'm overreacting, okay, you know, that makes sense, or okay, you know, I think that I just misinterpreted what happened, or I think I was just a little bit too much, or he just made me uncomfortable, that was it wasn't that serious, he wasn't trying to rob me, do this, that, and the third. But you get what I'm saying. Like, I know I can be that overreactive type person, so I know what I have to do to calm myself down and be like, okay, let me assess what's happening. You get what I'm saying? And he has a lying problem, by the way, and looking at the person he looks up to, Trisha, how many times isn't she the one with the DID? Supposedly, not actually, she doesn't have it, by the way, she just said that she did. The one with the trans, that's the one we're talking about. That's the person that he looks up to, that he's literally mimicking. Literally the shit that she was doing at the time, he's now doing. And this is the type of shit that irritates me. The hundreds of thousands of videos I've seen that I didn't want to click on, but ended up clicking on because I'm here for the tea. They said his name. Face was in the title, in the tag. He's a conversation piece. So you know what? All the shit that people are condemning him from doing, it worked. It worked like a charm. Why do you think Trisha did it? Shane was doing it for a while. Hella people have been doing it for a long time. Why do you think they're doing it? Cause it worked. Why do you think he's telling these outrageous stories, crying, having outbursts, all this stuff? It work. And when something works, you beat that dead horse until it flies or around it, its body is decaying, and then you beat it some more. That's what's making him the money. That's what's making him his income. Of course he's gonna do that. I get, as commentators, we have to talk about what's relevant, what's this or that to continue the income or continue to get views. Or maybe it's just like what I'm doing, where it's like I just feel like talking about this shit. It's what's relevant right now, and so I want to talk about it, or I have an opinion about it, or whatever. I get it. You know what I mean? You want to talk about it. But at one point, it's like, is he really something to talk about? Is this different from any other person? Is this different from a Trisha Paytas, from a J Station? No. That's why I never talked about this. That video that I watched from My Opinion made me mad. That's the only reason I'm talking about this. This is why I never talk about Trisha Paytas anymore. I don't talk about Gabby Canna. I don't talk about J Station. I don't talk about these people anymore, nor do I have my opinion on it like that, for the sole fact that they're not different. They're just not different at all. It's literally the same thing happening over and over and over again. Everyone wants to try to present it like it's a new situation, like it's similar, like it's not the exact same situation, just different names. So when I see this video, I'm like, man, you already said this before. So how many times have you said this exact same thing? Because it's the exact same situation as so many other people. I've heard this before, over and over again. And he's not even that different. All he did was start a bunch of drama of misunderstandings and lies. You know how many people have done that? Again, I give you Trisha Paytas, queen of the kitchen floor, queen of the tears, queen of crocodile tears, queen of making a lot of sense and good points, but also being a hypocrite on top of that. That's all this man is. That's all she is. It's just the same thing. I can't watch that type of stuff anymore. That's why I'm just like, oh, this is stupid. Can we stop? I get it. It makes us money and gets us views, but like genuinely, and maybe it's just because I'm mad today or just because I'm tired from my nieces and nephews, I'm sick of it. I've been sick of it for a while, to be fair, but maybe it's just because it's not salacious enough or juicy or different, or it's not new. It's just the same stuff. And we're like, oh, this is different. He's doing some crazy stuff. And I'm like, no, he's not. Not really, actually. So my first video on this that I made before I had to redo this earlier today was like 30 minutes. And I'm glad I redid it because this one's like 20 looking at right now. Or at least the unedited version is 20 minutes. Because there's not a lot to say here. It's literally just me complaining about the 20th person to do something like this year. Okay? Whether it's YouTube or mainstream media. Donald Trump is more interesting in this. He's funnier because he's the president, so that gives him like an edge up. But this man is just, oh wow, a mukbanger or somebody's doing something that's not really that good for them, is being crazy. Oh my god, never seen that before. Also, just let me put this out here. If you're making videos about his husband or fiance or whatever they are and questioning their relationship and if it's toxic, stop. You're toxic. I hated that. I saw a video on them. I'm not gonna name names. Don't do that. That's gross. That's actually gross. You don't know somebody's relationship. You don't know what's happening. For you to even insinuate that abuse or anything like that's gross. You don't need views that much. You're just as gross as the person you're talking about at that point. It's all this stuff is just kind of getting to the point of like everybody else is gross. Everybody's just like, and I get that's a new buzzword. It's gross. I'm disgusted. Ew, I get it. Those are new buzzwords that you like to use. You know what I mean? I think last year it was like psychopath, sociopath type shit, and now it's ew, gross. That's a note for me. Yikes. I get that those are the buzzwords now. Can we stop? Can we just stop? In conclusion, the situation, I never talked about it because it was just, meh. Really not that serious. I'm more mad about the videos being made than I am about the situation itself. If you know there's a toxic person out there, at this point, he's a well-known toxic person. He's been that way for a while. If you make the decision to talk to him, Trisha, and you then make a they're crazy. They're so toxic. They were being mean to me. Wham. And you didn't immediately walk away from them and never speak to them again, but you want to start some, get out of here with that. I'm not here for it, and you deserve everything you're getting if you don't know how to walk away. Everybody's adults in the situation. Walk away. Anyways, that's all I have to say about it. If you like this video, like it. If you want to subscribe, you can. My opinions are just meh, and a lot of time, most of the time, I'm actually just hella irritated at whatever I'm talking about. But if you want to talk to me, go on Discord. Twitter and Instagram are things I have. You know, I'm active on all of those at this point. Most active on Discord, but active on everything else too. Well, it depends on when you're watching this, if I'm active or not, but you get my point. All my socials, all that be in the description. I will see you guys later. Peace.